Hello there and welcome to the Property Guide at ET Now. This is your one-stop guide to buying property in this country. Whether you're buying it as a home that you want to live in or you're simply looking for an investment, this is the show that has all of the information for you. If you have any feedback or questions on buying a home or getting a home loan or even a legal problem that you're having, write to us. Our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. You can also reach me personally on Twitter. On the show this week, we review the Nagpur real estate market and point out areas of growth. We'll also give you a list of investment options in the region. We'll tell you about the investment options in the outskirts of Mumbai, and we'll discuss Bangalore and Pune. Joining us in the studio today, Arvind Nandan, independent analyst, and Jayashree Kurup, the head of content and research at magicbricks.com. Today, we're going to be discussing the real estate market of Nagpur. Now, this is considered to be the second capital of the state of Maharashtra. It's a hub for medium and heavy industry, and the city also has plenty of IT and ITES companies that have set up shop here. It's considered a bit of an education hub as well in that neighborhood. Now, before we go on to discussing the orange city, I'm going to bring in Avan, who will give us an update on how prices have moved in Nagpur over the last 2 years. Avan.
Thanks, Faye. Well, the residential prices across key locations in Nagpur have been disappointing in comparison to some other cities of the same size across the country. The real estate boom along Wardha Road that once drove prices all over the city now seems to be petering out. The prices at Wardha Road have actually dropped by 1.5% from where they stood at in 2012. Homes here cost an average of 2,800 to 3,400 rupees per square foot. Pratapnagar has seen a decline in prices as well in the last 2 years. The residential property here is trading at an average of 5,700 rupees per square foot. That's down 200 rupees from 2012. But there is some good news. Wathoda has seen the biggest increase in prices of homes, moving up to 3,900 rupees per square foot in 2014. That's compared to 2,750 in 2012. And that's an increase of a whopping 40%. Now, prices in Friends Colony have moved up 15% in the last 2 years. A home which would cost you 3,600 rupees per square foot in 2012 will now cost you 4,150 rupees per square foot. Lakshmi Nagar has seen an increase of around 8%. The prices here have increased to 7,550 rupees per square foot. With that, it's back to you, Faye.
All right, Avan, thank you for that information. Now, just to bring you up to speed, there are some facilities set up by TCS, Hexaware, Wipro in the SEZ that's coming up in Nagpur. Of course, we're also talking about an aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul base that will also be set up there. I want to bring you in here very quickly. There's a lot of talk about industry and business in Nagpur, given its location geographically in the country. It hasn't, unfortunately, seen the kind of growth we would like to see from a city of its size. What's going wrong in Nagpur?
You're absolutely right. Actually, Nagpur is one of those places in Maharashtra which should have come up very strongly after Mumbai and Pune, of course. So Maharashtra had a great opportunity, still has, of having these three cities as their flagships. It hasn't developed for a large number of reasons. I believe primarily because most of the industrial economy has been focused on Mumbai, Pune and that belt, and although Nagpur has had the historical eminence, it still has stuck to the traditional industries more, barring the IT sector which started there about 10 years ago.
Jayashree, with the amount of emphasis we had on manufacturing from this government right now, do you believe cities like Nagpur will benefit? Like Arvind rightfully mentioned, it is also an education hub. It has the concentration of the largest number of engineering colleges in that region. Why are we not seeing that talent being retained by the city? And what do you think it's going to take before we see the city actually turn around and start to gallop as fast as the rest of its peers?
Faye, I think manufacturing and logistics are the two industries that are going to drive Nagpur's growth. While education, it is a strong education hub, and therefore you have a lot of talent pool there. But the biggest problem with Nagpur was that it was actually a traditional, logical logistics hub. In the last few years, we have seen the logistics sector struggling vis-a-vis other sectors. Now, IT was pushed as a big growth driver, which has not taken off the way it should have, probably because we immediately went into a tailspin as far as the economy is concerned. So the last 4-5 years, when Nagpur should actually have clocked a lot of growth, that was the time when the economy was not doing too great. But if you ask me, there are 2 or 3 very, very strong drivers in Nagpur, and that is what I expect will drive this market. One is that today you have TCS, Wipro. The IT segment has already shown its propensity to pick up land there and start operations. You already have a good HR base, education base, so you have lots of human capital coming out of there. Also, Nagpur is, the maintenance and repair organizations. It is the logical center of a lot of flight paths, and that's why whether these flights emanate out of India or our long-haul flights passing over India, this is the logical place where it should have stopped, which is why Mihan invested so much money in that SEZ. There was to be an MRO center there. I suspect that it will happen now. The airlines industry has not done too well. The manufacturing industry has not done too well. But today, with the thrust on manufacturing, not only manufacturing but logistics and the hinterland connectivity and connectivity to the ports should push Nagpur, and I think Nagpur has a lot going for it.
Well, Arvind, there are 2 questions here. One is obviously people who live in Nagpur or people for whom Nagpur is hometown will consider buying there. But let's set that group aside for now. Those people who are looking for an investment opportunity, should Nagpur in any way pop up on that list at all, or do cities like Bangalore, Pune, the ones that do see a lot of that IT movement, should that be top of our list if you're just looking to make a pure investment?
Well, true. Nagpur definitely comes on the radar, but let's be a little pragmatic about it. Nagpur would figure much lower in the list, unfortunately, after you've counted cities like Jaipur and Coimbatore and a few others. The reason is probably a little complex. Nagpur has got a historical base, it's got an industrial base, it's got a logistical base and all that. But however, from a purely real estate standpoint, Nagpur still hasn't started to yield the kind of appreciation and the kind of returns that certain other places generate. In some ways, I find Nagpur to be as unfortunate or fortunate as a location like Panvel is. A new airport which has been the talk of town for a very long time. Likewise, Mihan had been a talk of the town for a very long time, but hasn't really shaped up in the manner it was thought of. So there are certain things which have held Nagpur back. I would think that if you have a specific interest in Nagpur, then you must go ahead and do that. Well, otherwise, there are probably certain other options before you looked at Nagpur.
Jashi, I want you to help us, for those of our viewers right now for whom either Nagpur is their hometown or they're living there and they're looking to buy a home. And we know that now we have far more reputed developers who are constructing in Nagpur. There's Godrej Properties, for example, who has a project there. Tell us what areas you believe will see the highest appreciation and where someone looking to buy a home should focus their energy on.
Phoebe, I went to the site. I thought let the site and statistics be our guide here. We looked at the Wardha Road. It's a very large stretch, and on Wardha Road, I see a lot of development, huge rise, about 60% rise in capital values in the last 1 year. Remember, the base was very low. Parts of Wardha Road, the base was very low, so 60% doesn't mean much. But right now, you're seeing about 2,800 to about 3,400 along the Wardha Road, and this is an area where there is a lot of development happening, and I think this is somewhere one place where you should be looking at because it's close enough to the industrial corridors. Another place that we have is Vathoda, where again I've seen a 20% rise in the last 2 years. It's recently been master planned into Nagpur, and therefore the values are going up. I would say these are 2 areas basis what's happening on the site. But I would tend to agree with Arvind that if you don't know Nagpur as a city, you should hold your horses for a little while longer, let the growth happen, and then enter the market, because this is way too early in the cycle.
Here are some projects that are coming up in the city that you might find interesting. Take a look. Well, here are a list of projects in Nagpur. The Empyrean Green by Fire Accor Infrastructure, Max Pride, Pioneer Daffodils, Vrindavan by the Radha Madhav Group, Himalayan Empire,
and Megh Sparsh by Rachana Constructions.
All right, let's quickly answer some questions. Vishnu Sharma has written in, he's planning to invest in North Bangalore for a second home with a budget of 80 lakh rupees. He shortlisted two options, a 3-bedroom home at Ozone Urbana. He wants to know what your view is of that project. Arvind, you've been taking a look at it. How would you rate that project?
Well, it's a good project. It's a very large project, 100 plus acres actually. But as an investor, I would give him a slightly different kind of an advice. It is not something where you will want to buy and live immediately. It's probably not that as yet. It's pretty much futuristic at this point in time. It's probably an investment destination for somebody who wants to invest and then stay invested for a few years before you start earning your returns. For all your social needs, all your retail needs perhaps, you will have to go back to the Bangalore city. You may have to go back to Devanahalli for that matter. The prices are pretty okay, you know, 3,500 to 3,700 odd. But I would say you probably are not going to live there immediately. If you had to actually buy something for your immediate need, then better go to Jakur or Tanisandra or maybe Henu Road. Those probably are better locations for you. But if you are a futuristic investor, want to invest and then wait on it, then probably it's an okay investment.
All right, Vishnu, if you need more help, of course, you can get in touch with us. I'm going to quickly take one more question. Raghav Rastogi is looking to buy a 3-bedroom flat in Pune for end use. He's hoping to live there. He's currently working in the Magarapata area and he's looking to buy something in a 10-kilometer radius of his workspace. His budget is about 75 to 80 lakh rupees and he's shortlisted 3 projects. There's Zoa by Riddhi Siddhi Developers, Gilmore by the Fadanis Group and Kalpatru Serenity. Jashi, when you look at these 3 projects and the budget really for Pune is quite handsome for that area, would you recommend any one of them or are there even better options in the market for him?
No, I would say that he's actually done his research. He's checked out the projects and he's picked up 3 projects that fit his budget, that have rental returns. He's looking at end use, and this is an area where it is recommended for, you know, on Magic Bricks in our locality section, we have figured out what are the localities and for what type of people these localities are recommended for, basis the kind of property available. Now, this area is definitely recommended for families, for single professionals. Safety is not a big concern here. It is ready. There is ready to move in units here. Out of 5, many of our users have given it a 4.4 rating. So you see, it's livable. It's a livable area and more or less ready to move in properties. And I think he's actually done his research. He should be able to now visit the properties, check out what you like, talk to some people who live there, and then make your choice because he's an end user. He wants to stay there.
All right, it's time for us to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we'll focus on the Mumbai region and all of the little neighborhoods that surround it. We'll find affordable housing. Where can you buy homes in the MMR region for 20 to 30 lakh rupees? That's on the other side. Don't go anywhere.